Hey, what's going on, y'all? Let's see, what is the title of this here thing? Wow, that's a long title. Midterm Election Day 2018. Voted, knowing local candidates, scandals, and will they matter? Wow, it's a mouthful right there, man. It's all good, though. We're gonna get into it piece by piece. But check it out, man. I just deleted my first, maybe, I don't know if it's the first one. It's the first one in a long time. See, oh boy. Sometimes the emotions take over and you just say what you want to say on the keyboard, you know what I'm saying? You kind of step back and be like, wow, okay, let me look at this a little bit differently. So I was looking in the news or whatever, and I saw that Amy Schumer, I guess she's pregnant. She was looking at the sonogram, and you know, I'm gonna tell you the one I left up though. I left the tweet up where it said, you know, is it a baby or is it fetal tissue? You know, so. Okay. Hey, hold up, y'all. I'm gonna go help my wife take this stuff out of the trunk real quick. She went to Costco and some of this shit is heavy. Sorry, excuse my language. I'll be right back. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. Next episode. Okay, that was what? 3 minutes? Sorry. Yeah, it was a bag. It's like a bag of sugar and a bag of flour. Oh man. What am I doing? Oh man. I forgot and left the quinoa. Didn't get any more quinoa. Anyway, so I left that tweet. I won't tell you what I said in the other one, but hey, it's not like it's could, because I remember when we saw our daughter on the in the sonogram, and or whatever they call it, moving around, bouncing around. You can see the shape, the face. It's like, dang, you got your chin. I remember seeing my daughter, and you could tell, you could see her chin. I was like, oh yeah, that's your chin right there. She got the Timari chin, and she does. Like when my daughter was, in the womb and she got bigger, same time every night, man. She would be up. Be like 10:30, 11 o'clock. She would be up. She's the same way now. It's that type of thing where you can tell a kid's personality almost just carrying it, I'm sure, just from a woman's perspective. And I guess that's why I feel like life is so precious, I guess. And yeah, I don't know. You might say, how do you feel about capital punishment? Society tends to deal with its, but then there's the other side of it where, what if somebody, you don't have enough evidence and they just convict you guilty, So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so how did I get off on that? We talking about the elections. So I voted last week, and in retrospect, I feel like maybe I voted the wrong way on a couple of different things because the way I understood it was off. You know what I'm saying? As far as most of the candidates went, I pretty much had to go through every candidate and find out and it's hard to do with judges because then you're talking about going through court decisions. But every once in a while, man, you come across these other candidates who you're familiar with, kind of. So what do? But first, let me say this. The other night I had my show. I got up Monday morning, and you wouldn't believe it, but that's when I saw the most ads. I saw the most ads like yesterday morning. Like all this time, I'm not seeing any. I don't know why I didn't see it. Maybe it's because I didn't have the TV on. Mostly watching, Medea movies, and Hangover 1, 2, and 3. Or what is it? Little Rascals. The kids, they got to throw one in every once in a while. But that was like trippy because I was like, wow, all these ads that I hadn't seen before, Most of the ads I had seen and heard were coming from the Republicans saying how people weren't paying their taxes. They trying to raise your taxes. What's up with that? So I was like, wow, it must be on like Donkey Kong one day ahead of the in front of the election eve. So I was like, all right, that's what's up. So it was like a wave because I guess they knew that people were gonna vote, and then I looked into it. Like the last time they had a midterm election was 2014. It was like 1.1 million, 1.17 million people voted in the early voting, and then this year it was like 2.03 or something like that million. So it's like not quite that's not quite double it, but it's almost, you know. And I'm like, wow. And then let's say like the complete like 4.4 million for the whole 2014 election, right? Was like 4.4. So let's say another 3 million people vote this time. That's like 5 million. So I don't know. A lot more people seem to be coming out. We'll see. We'll see at the end of the day. But let me slide to this other thing. When you know local candidates, you know, it's like I don't know, man. Like I was saying on Monday, I saw these ads, and then I saw Sydney Batch. Right, I went to high school with I know her older sister was like a year older than me. Bryant Batch, right? Oh my gosh, one of the coolest people in the world. And you know, like every family has like different. I mean, all the kids are just, you know, just have different everybody has a different personality, but just within a family, you know, it's like each person has their different personality. And Sydney was younger, and I know they have a brother, but all of them, from my experience, all of them were cool. All of them were always really nice and cool, and just down to earth, real good people. You know what I mean? It's like the whole family. You know, I don't remember if I've ever met their parents, but just from what I remember about them, you know, growing up, they were always nice, courteous. I mean, then I got to know Brian a little bit better in college, just because we had, you know, friends in common. And yeah, that was cool too. I think she was in medical school at that point. But that's my point. Like, Sydney is a lawyer. Brian's she's a doctor. And I mean, I wish I could, you know, look up their brother and find out what he's up to, but you know. And then I look at the platform, you know, and then I'm like, wow, okay, so I've moved more towards the right. I'm unaffiliated, and I'm just seeing some of the stuff, and I'm saying, wow, man, I wish I could, you know, could vote. I mean, she's not in my district. I mean, so I can't vote for her anyway right now. But, you know, in light of a lot of the stuff that's going on right now, you know, it sucks that now that is at the forefront of my mind. Like, instead of, I don't know, it's like, I don't know, it kind of seems like that with the sheriff's race. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, like, a sheriff is a guy that people are gonna know and hear from on a continuous basis. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the governor and the mayor. You know what I'm saying? I hear more from Donnie Harrison than most people, except now Roy Cooper. But you know, it's kind of how North Carolina politics are. in a lot of cases. Another person, I think I mentioned before, David Price. I knew David Price Jr. He was in my Latin class. You know, these people I went to high school with, and some in college, like uh, Mike Easley Jr. He's a cool dude. Oh man, I miss that cat. You know, Democrat, I think. I'm not sure what they are now, but his dad was the governor of North Carolina. He was a Democrat. I'm only assuming. He may not be, but I have no idea. But like, he's a, you know, I consider him, you know, a friend, somebody I know, you know. And in politics, I guess it just makes strange bedfellows, you know. So yeah. So what's going on with the scandals, man? I hear what's his name, Project Veritas, you know, jumped on a few more people. People lying. And it looks like they lying to appeal to the more central voters. But you got to wonder how many of those there really are. You know, some of those people might just be like Republicans who just don't want to say, or Democrats who don't want to say they Republican now. And some of them might definitely be independent, you know? So you got to wonder, you see what's going on. I don't know. I guess it depends on the things that you value. But when you talk about guns with, damn, I need to look on that on. Yeah, let me open up another window here. What was Gillum? I think, what was it? One of Gillum's homeboys. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, if people keep asking you leading questions, right? At some point, you got to be like in the back of your mind, where's this person coming from? I mean, they really asking me some questions that seem like if I answered it, it might be incriminating. You know what I'm saying? It's like, at some point there's got to be some upper level management to be like, okay, let me holler at this cat, let me see where he at, right? Let me see what kind of vibe he gives me. But I guess, you know, some of these organizations are so big that you can't really oversee everything and know what's going on. Let's see. That's Vox. Yeah, they're going to tell you about the Republican scandals. Oh, man. Let's see. Who is that? Fox News? What's that? That's August. I'm talking, man, you're going to make me do it. Now I got to go where? I got to go to Drudge. Let's see. Yeah, Drudge. He should have something. But I'm talking about like the ladies who lied and they said they lied. Now you gotta press charges for lying to what, the FBI? So you telling me you lying? Okay, well, clank. I mean, somebody has to pay for their bad behavior, and it sucks that it's usually the small guy, like the fall guy. I mean, that's one of my issues, you know, and that was like one of those issues during the Obama era, HSBC issues that came up, voting chaos at polling booths, machine problems, Facebook blocks 115 accounts. MSNBC airs results of Florida governor election in test misfire. Wow. It's on. What is it? Nate Silver says 88% chance that Dems take the House, 19% for the Senate. Americans asking Google who to vote for. Oh, man. Whatever happened? Like, why don't they have those ladies who lied on the front of this page? Or am I just not seeing it? Burst of polio-like cases in children alarms doctors. I know that doesn't have anything to do with the election, but it kind of does in a way. Like, that's something that you, like, if you playing your cards and you know you really think that you're going to win, that's something that you either say now or you say later, save for later. You know what I'm saying? And Donald Trump, if I'm not mistaken, we were watching the rally. I think he mentioned it yesterday at one of his rallies, if not all of them. So he's playing his cards. I think he might know something more than what what they think he does, because unless he just goes bold, always. I mean, but after reading his book, I read it in Hungary. That was one of the books I read in Hungary. Reading his book, he seems to know when to tone it down and when to ramp it up. Y'all should go read it. Go check it out. Art of the Deal. Yeah. I mean, it's not like a plan, like, oh, here's how you do this and this. No. He's like, look, this is what I do. This is what I did. It was like he had a journal and he said, let me pick the best stuff and like some of the bad ones that shows where I've learned something, right? And then he put it in a book, and it's very interesting, and it's very kind of gives you some insight into how he clicks a little bit. So check it out. But anyway, there's something with Gillum. Let me look it up. See, that's another thing I noticed, man. It was hard to find certain things. It was hard to find. Like, it didn't come up on my feed. You know what I mean? Like, you hardly got to see any of the scandals. It was almost like that was kind of taken away. You know. Let me see if I can. Gillum. Look, it don't even auto-populate when I look up Gillum. Oh, look at this. Wow. Look at this. Hey, everything that I'm seeing right now, if you look up Gillum, is from MSNBC, CBS, everything good. Everything is good on this first page, dude. I'm like, where does it talk about? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. That's crazy, dude. It's election day, fellas and fellarettes. This is how it rolls, man. Check this out. This is all I'm saying, man. Okay. Still, look, I looked up scandals, right? And all I'm getting is CNN, Breakfast Club, MSNBC, Daily Mail. I'm not getting anything relevant to the way my channel tends to go. You know what I mean? I can't, it's like washed. Let's look up cinema. Let's see. It's SINEMA. Hey, let's do a little bit better on this. Cinema Taliban. How about that? What do you think? Oh, okay. Martha McSally. There we go. I was shooting at the Taliban, and cinema says it's okay to join. What the hell? Martha McSally. Oh, wow. Kirsten Cinema compared illegal immigrants to Iraq war dead. Wow. Unfortunately, it looks like I can't even find people. Now this is if you just search for them, right? Let's say you just did a search and be like, oh, okay, I heard she said something about some Taliban. You're probably not gonna find the comment or any of that. You got to go to people who would normally talk about that type of thing. That's the kicker. Next News Network hasn't been banned yet. You know, it's kind of, look, I like the fact that they run ads during their YouTube videos, and the main reason is because that's what you have to do. They just, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't like ads, but I mean, when you understand the game a little bit, I can't say it's like clickbaity, but if anything, Next News Network, it's almost like, okay, I just heard that news like yesterday, but I understand also that, depending on how many people you do or don't have working under you, some of this stuff takes some time to do. If you're busy, then, so nothing against Next News Network, just, Sticks. Oh, Sticks always representing. Look at that dude. I like Sticks Hexenhammer 666. He was talking about Facebook collapsing. 44% of users delete the app. Lamestream always conflates immigrants with migrants and migrants with refugees. I gotta go check that one out. Go vote and tune in here. Dude, Sticks be putting them out. He must have a powerful processor or something. Damn, man. See? You can't find this stuff out there. Look, I was thinking about doing a montage, but that means like going through some old hard drives. Looks like that's what I'm gonna have to do, man. They shutting everything down over here, dude. You can't find what you're trying to find unless you know exactly what you got to do. A Google search, and then you gotta like really get into like the nitty gritty right? And then that you got to put in almost like exact terms. On this date, somebody said this. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's go there for that date on YouTube. You know, it's like, what the hell, man? Y'all been paying attention to them rallies? I tell you what, that's where I get most of my news is from the rallies. It's like, 4.5 million new jobs. Where else are you going to hear it? You got to listen to Trump. Trump will tell you where the jobs are, where they're coming from. Before the midterms, that's mainly what he was talking about while they were talking about Russia. And now you don't hear anything about Russia except out of anybody except Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff is talking Schiff. Yeah, he's saying he's gonna investigate some more or something like that after the election. I'm like, dude, maybe we should start talking about some things that we're supposed to be talking about too, like some other stuff that we really need to talk about other than something like Russia. Obama's out there talking about there weren't any scandals. Oh my gosh, man, come on, dude. Do you remember Benghazi? That's kind of a big one. That's kind of a huge one. I would think, like who gave the order to stand down, or what was the deal that he was there for in the first place? Then what's going on there? Still some questions around that, isn't it? Or did they figure it out? Hey, look, I ain't putting it out there what I've heard, not on this channel. I'm just saying. There's some people out there who's talking about it, and let's just say the official story coming out of certain people isn't matching up with other people. Y'all go, all right, now go discuss. Go watch that. Go find out. Hey, evidently it's not on here no more. Can't find it. Can't find stuff like that, man. I remember back when Nicolas Sarkozy out of France, he sent in bombers to bomb a few compounds. That they weren't compounds, they were like people's houses. They were like the house of some of his family members, because it was said that that's where the evidence was that they had helped him get elected in France, right? Next thing you know, pow, family members dead. Shortly thereafter, quote unquote, NATO somehow knew where he was and, bombed his caravan, sent in the people, and then they did everything they wanted to do. So now what we have over there is, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because back then you could see in the aftermath, after taking out the guy who was kind of helping Libya and Africa, he's trying to go on the gold standard, sweet crude. This guy wasn't there as, a hindrance to those people who would harm black Libyans. And so when they took him out, that created pretty much a death squad, man. They weren't there to hold them off, and then they just targeted black Libyans. Now we have slavery there. Hell, it could have been some there, but it's more. You got video now. You got video evidence now. Wonder if you could show that. But what I was talking about before that, in the aftermath, you could see bulldozers shoving bodies of dead black people into ditches. I remember that, man. That was a visual that, I would have to go back and find those videos, but I'm sure it would get taken down now. So if you wonder where those flotillas are coming from, when you see those, black people in those small boats trying to get away from a place, arriving on the coast of Italy and other countries, that's where they're coming from. Clinton, Samantha Power, Obama, Susan Rice, that whole crew said, hey, we need a regime change. That was the regime change administration, man. Think about it. What was it? Egypt. They tried Syria. They still, they couldn't do Syria. What was it? To the west of Libya also. Algeria? No. They went in to get Muammar Gaddafi. They had to get him. He had the best, sweetest crew, man. And now it's in chaos. But anyway, I get off on that. Oh yeah, they didn't tell the truth about that. They didn't just say, "Oh yeah, well, we kind of messed up on Libya." What about the banking scandals, and then nobody went to jail? I think what was it? Was Bernie Madoff? You guys got him. He was small enough to be like, okay, yeah, he took advantage of rich people. So yeah, we have a little bit of capital to go after him. Yeah, let's make him the scapegoat. Let's make him the fall guy. Because if you really look at the numbers, man, I'm pretty sure you're gonna see he was the small guy. What's gonna happen today? I'm just going on. You gotta wonder if, from everything I said about knowing the local candidates, kind of seeing what you see on TV, you got to wonder if they're seeing what we see on alternative media. These people just taking bats to conservatives just because they agree with Trump. Just like I did with the Charleston thing. I said, look, I agree that, yeah, maybe we should not take down statues, but that doesn't mean that I agree with, I guess, the KKK. I agree with the segment of the group that was there to support the statue issue, who was not necessarily there to support the KKK, So to call everyone a racist who supported that, that's not fair. And that's where I agree with Trump when he said some of those were fine people. I look at myself as a fine person. I wasn't there, but when you say that's who he's talking about, somebody like me. If I was there, right? I'm not down with the KKK, but I don't want them just taking down statues, knowing that Robert E. Lee is from Virginia. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole reason why he's, ran the South and was winning for a long time until, they got the right dude in there. Plug for drinktimetees.com. Drinktimetees.com. Yeah, they got a Grant. They called him a drunkard. drinktimeteas.com. Yeah. But he knew how to win. Hey, every once in a while you need to take a sip, you know what I mean? Sit down and hang out for a minute and just reevaluate things, but not don't abuse it. But anyway, so that's where I stood on that issue, and I talked about it a while back, But when you kind of lump everybody in, to one group, and you'd be like, well, and then you just see people bashing people who all they're doing is expressing themselves. And usually the people getting bashed are the conservatives, except in those cases that we, push up to the forefront, like the Charleston. I'm sure there are other cases out there where the guy just rams through a bunch of people. From what I could tell, it did look like they were egging people on. They were trying to trap people. They were banging on cars and shit like that. So, I'm not excusing it. But there have also been reports that they were funneling traffic the wrong way, or the police presence was called off, and people got people on stuff out there, and not only that, people got problems out there too, and some of these people have very little patience. I'm just saying, wicks are short these days. I know some dudes who be out there in the hood, not even my age, right? And they saying, man, these young dudes just don't give a bleep. You know what I'm saying? So it always seems like that it always seems like it gets heightened every few years for some reason. Hey, I'm gonna take a break for a minute and I'll be right back. My bad. Sorry. My wife, she's in there cooking some stuff. it's almost time to go pick them kids up. You know what I mean? So yeah, just I don't know, man. What else did I have written down here? Yeah, deleted. Yeah, deleted that shit. Yeah, because it was kind of mean spirited. I'm not trying to be a mean spirited dude, but sometimes people try to take you there. That's why I can't go to these, events and stuff because, man, I can't be, can't be going to jail. I got too much to do. I'm trying to progress and proceed, Yeah, I'm gonna love you from over here. I show my support. Hey, I put it out here on the tubes. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna sign off, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is my midterm election day 2018. What do I think's gonna happen? I think personally, my antenna's telling me that it's gonna be close. What's gonna happen with old girl down in Georgia? Is that election fraud going on down there? They're trying to say that Nelson is just doing that because he's abusing the office, but that sounds like that could also be something they would say if they didn't want him to look into it. That's like a coercive thing. Also, that's what you would say, right? You just doing this because you got the office, man, right? And then you just look around and hope everybody's agreeing with you. So I guess that's another scandal that's out there. McSally, McDaniel got the Feinstein thing with the stolen documents. Got the Cory Booker thing. Oh man. It's at some point though, it's gotta be like it's almost gotta seem like, okay, if this is what you have to do to win, lying, and then it's coming out, you know what I mean? I understand some people might be like, okay, but they're on my side. I get that too. Oh, how do you deal with that, man? Especially if you see so many instances. I mean, I'm talking about like how they bamboozled Bernie Sanders, the Clinton Foundation, all the money they paid off, the debt for the oh man, dude, come on. At some point, it's got to be like, I don't know. Huh. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be like, because we know how the media works. Like, at what point in history did we start believing the media as Democrats, or trusting? Or is it in the black community? I'm trying to figure out which community I'm coming from, because I know black people know all of that stuff that happened with the syphilis experiments and the government, when Malcolm X speeches on how tapping and sending people out or to trail you. Surveillance. I mean, black people know all of that stuff. So I'm trying to figure out, like, is it the black side of me, or is it the liberal side, where we used to say, okay, I don't believe in silencing people. You feel me? I don't believe in the censorship. Remember, what grade was I in? I was in Miss Haig's class, I think. Or was it Bruton? Might have been both. It's Haig or Bruton. So it was in the 90s. It was like 92, 91, 90 maybe. You know? Maybe it was 91-ish. I remember somebody was trying to like censor books or like change how books were written or change the words in like Mark Twain or something like that. I don't know if they did it. I think they did eventually. But I thought back then that the Democrats were against it. And now you got all these people saying that they Democrats who are trying to silence and deplatform people for their speech. So then they say, oh, well, it's only certain speech or certain credentialed speech that we say. Okay, well, who gives out the credentials? You know? So that's going to probably be another issue, depending on who wins this election. What say you? Is he going to go after, I don't know. I think that might be a second term thing. That just might be a second term thing. I don't even want to mention it, man, because you know the way my mind works, I might be throwing something into the universe that's going to throw off my plan. You know what I'm saying? The power of the D-Train voice just might be so powerful that it throws out an element, a mustard seed of thought that just be like, man, it this guy just has 85 people listening to him, if that, on a half day. Like if you give him about a year, he might have 85 people listen to that one video on election day. I don't even want to put it out into the ether, because you got a bunch of big money situations that still have a lot of influence on a lot of people. I mean, I'm talking about bigger than Google, if you can imagine that. At what point do you go after the money? That's the next question. But we're going to save that for another day. We need to win an election or something. Yep. So hopefully my peeps can go out and vote. So, therefore, on the other hand, nevertheless, word, peace.